Welcome to Today in Prophecy, daily news in 15 minutes or less. Well, not to be outdone by Oregon. We talked about this the other day. Oregon offering $30,000 for people who are not citizens. Check this out. Robbie Starbuck reports Politico says that California Democrats are likely to pass a bill granting up to $150,000 to each illegal immigrant to help them buy a house. He says, no, I'm not joking. Meanwhile, homeless veterans and young families get nearly no help. Politico's headline is disgusting too, says Robbie Starbuck. There seemed to be more concern with the timing of the bill than the fact that this bill takes money from hardworking American citizens and gives homes to people who broke into our country. You look at this, and he says normal people are being sold out by elitists who want a slave labor class who will reliably vote to keep the elite in power because the slave class is dependent on them. Indeed, it is true. It's happening. Hey, and thinking of that, listen, they say they're going to destroy the middle class. By 2030, you'll own nothing and be happy. And not only that, they gaslight you with things like this. $150,000 right here in the state of California. No wonder they say the great state of Texas. You never hear the great state of California because of the evil, wicked stuff and the evil politicians that run this state. Evil people. Hey, don't forget, like and share this video to help combat the lies with the truth. But let's roll on because there's a lot more that we need to know about. New York Post says extreme rhetoric in New York mosques as imams call for destruction of Israel and praise Hamas. A Brooklyn Muslim cleric who once partnered with New York Mayor Eric Adams on a campaign to end hate is now spreading it by calling for the annihilation of Israel. I mean, for anybody who has followed these things, this is not a surprise, and we've been saying it for years. If you follow Bible prophecy, you know that this is the MO. This is what's done. And you say these things. This is what these Islamic clerics are calling for. And people say, oh, no, you're just such an evil person for saying that. No, this is literally what they are calling for. And there's much more to it than this, but we have more to go. Wall Street Journal, check this out. By now, most people have heard this. Mark Zuckerberg says White House was wrong to pressure Facebook on COVID. Wait. Am I allowed to even talk about this? Well, Mark Zuckerberg is. Now, this is interesting. I'm just going to throw something out. I'm sure we're going to find out more in the weeks and months ahead. Maybe. But why is Zuckerberg suddenly saying this? Does he suddenly have a good change of heart? He's just a good-hearted person, and he's saying Biden did this, and I'm a good guy now? Did he have a come-to-Jesus moment? Why is Zuckerberg saying this? We don't know, but we can speculate, as my friend Kurt Reed speculated. He said maybe he suspects that Trump is going to win, and he would know because his hand is on the pulse, being the president of Meta and Facebook. Is that it? That he's convinced Trump's going to win and he wants to be on the good side? Don't know. Or is there something else going on? Zuckerberg knows that something's going to happen, and he's going, wait a minute, I'm coming clean now. It was the Biden-Harris regime that did this. They made me manipulate the campaign. They made us do these different things. Very interesting, especially when we see all of the other dynamics that are going on in the political world right now, and with the manipulating of things. And by the way, I talked about this just the other day. The head of Telegram, the founder of Telegram, he was arrested in France. Well, here's some news. Maybe we'll be able to talk about this a little bit more later on tomorrow. But when you look at this, the head of Telegram, it turns out, reports are now coming out that it's the U.S. State Department that originally went after the head of Telegram, wanted to finish the company here, wanted to shut it down, and it's the U.S. State Department that requested the French police arrest the head of Telegram when he landed his plane in France on the tarmac. Interesting. So the U.S. government is actually behind that. And at the same time, we have Mark Zuckerberg saying, hey, it's the Biden administration Very interesting world. We better watch our P's and Q's. I'm telling you, interesting things are taking place. Check this out. Emmanuel Macron sets X on fire with his blatant lie on France's commitment to freedom of expression after Telegram founder is locked up for not censoring speech. List of charges against Pavel Durov released. Bad news for Mark Zuckerberg. So, I mean, you start looking at all of these things, you put them all together, you see what Emmanuel Macron has to say. I have seen false information regarding France following the arrest of Pavel Durov. France is deeply committed to freedom of expression and communication, to innovation, and to the spirit of entrepreneurship. It will remain so. In a state governed by the rule of law, freedoms are upheld within a legal framework, both on social media and in real life, to protect citizens and respect their fundamental rights. I mean, you look at this and you realize what is really going on. Listen, it's there in France. We have the U.S. State Department involved in making sure that our freedoms of speech are gone. Elon Musk calls them out. Mark Zuckerberg is now saying, hey, let me tell you, it's the government that was actually made me do these things. All these things we've been talking about, you look at where we are right now. What am I still allowed to talk about? What am I not allowed to talk about? I mean, you look at these things and you believe Emmanuel Macron? Guy's already a liar. He's saying, oh no, there's free speech while they take this away, while they take that away from you. These are just blatant lies, like everything else they do on the left, just lie after lie. Jewish news syndicate reports Italian party publishes blacklist of Jews and Israel supporters. Uh-oh. Are you an Israel supporter? Are we on this blacklist at Hope for Our Times? Are you on that blacklist? Interesting. The new Communist Party of Italy recently published a list of Italian Jews, among them well-known figures in politics, media, and business, labeling them Zionist agents to be condemned and fought for supporting Israel. Apparently, okay, I'm not from Italy, so I'm safe there. But the list titled Zionist Organizations and Agents in Italy contains more than 150 names organized by category. Listen, we're finding out all these other things. U.S. State Department involved in the takedown of Telegram, and you find this going on in Italy. Is that going on here in the U.S. also? Maybe. Wow. A last article I want to report on right now. IDF says 90% of Hezbollah rocket launches were from civilian area. IDF states about 230 launches and 20 aerial targets were identified crossing into Israeli territory on Sunday morning when Israel launched its preemptive strike, 90% of which were launched from the heart of a civilian area. That is nothing new. We've been reporting on these things. We've known that stuff is going on. And yeah, and people are saying how bad Israel is when you have civilians that are killed. Well, this is what Hamas does. This is what Hezbollah does. They launch their rockets from schools, from hospitals, making sure they get as many casualties of civilians as they possibly can. Why? Because they win the propaganda war. Listen, today in Prophecy, daily news in 15 minutes or less. And listen, join me today on the app. Todd Hampson is my guest on the app today. Going to be a great time. Also, the Tom Hughes Report is at 1 o'clock Pacific time today, too. God bless you guys.